so I want to make sure. Good morning. Thank you, Mr. McKenzie, for that gracious introduction. I want to thank Mr. McKenzie, and as Victor inherited, the Board of Trustees, and faculty and staff for having me here at Columbus Academy's 100th commencement. I see many familiar faces in the crowd, teachers, mentors, families, friends, who have had profound influence on my life, and here we are together again, bound through time at Columbus Academy. This is obviously a momentous occasion for several reasons. To begin with, as mentioned, to be the first female alumna to speak at the graduating class is a real honor. I'm beyond elated to be able to address the class of 2013, 20 years, yikes, since the first diploma was given to the first female. Yes, ladies, we rock. And with a note of sadness, of course, it should also be mentioned, as we know, this is John's last commencement as the headmaster, and my mom, Debbie Keeran, a veteran administrator and teacher here for 35 years, has always said John was one of the good ones, and although I have no doubt the Columbus Academy will be led by future heads, John will be missed, and his mark has truly been engraved on this great school. So just to recap, 100th commencement, first female alumna, and Mr. McKenzie's last commencement. I feel no pressure whatsoever to deliver a really good speech today. I am excited to celebrate you guys, the graduating class of 2013, which is all of you. I have to say, when John asked me to deliver this speech, I nearly reminded him that the last time I was up on this stage, my freshman year, I had to be removed from the stage immediately because I got the giggles. Not good. Thankfully, I've matured since then, and at this stage in my life, and being back at my alma mater, and the memories and emotions stirred up, and as seen when I nearly started weeping during that nice song you all sang, there's more chances of me crying in this speech than laughing. In my world, I live to hear the words, "Congratulations, you are an Ironman." I mean, really, who gets up in the morning and wants to go swim 2.4 miles, bike 112, and run 26.2 miles? I am that wackadoo who does this nonsense. How on earth did I get there? Nearly 18 years ago, I stood in front of the upper school for my junior speech, and I spoke about the pressure that parents often put on their children to be number one. What is so ironic to me at the time is that my parents always told me, as long as I did my best, that was all that mattered. I may not have really grasped the importance of this profound statement at the time, but this, by far, was the best advice I could have ever received, from my parents no less, professionally, academically, personally, and emotionally. This mindset, however, should never be interpreted that I was satisfied with losing. I still remember when my dad had to carry me off the track a mile and a half into a 2-mile race, or senior year in field hockey when we lost in early stages of the tournament, where I proceeded to run straight from the field into the woods and had to be carried out by Mr. Stahl, thank you, because I was sobbing, because I was so upset that we weren't going to be able to defend our title from the year before. At that time, these losses, they seemed like the end of the world. I can tell you, however, in all 3 of these cases, my friends and I were able to placate our sorrow with massive amounts of Oreos, nachos, and Grater's ice cream, and all is well in the world. So as you can see, the good always outshines the bad. My point in telling you that aforementioned is twofold. First, to acknowledge and accept that some days, both in athletics and in life, you may not be the best on the day. But as long as you mustered everything you could to make it happen and did your best, that really is all that matters. And secondly, it has to do with maturity. You may experience this aha moment going forward where you think, wow, I'm kind of growing up here. I still carry that great piece of advice my parents bestowed on me in every race, every training session, every high, every low. You start to realize it's okay to be a little vulnerable and put yourself out there to fail or prosper nearly every day. And I'm also not insinuating either that I don't get sad at times when I do fail, because that would be false. Shoot, I'm 34 years old and I can still have a crying jag, just like I did when my now husband didn't ask me to prom my freshman year. What is up with that, AK? It's natural and normal, and it means you care and you're not immune to the ups and downs of life. Okay, so now that we've established that I'm fairly sensitive, let me tell you about some of the tools I use to manage this roller coaster we call life, which has led me to where I am today. I consider myself a small town, former Columbus Academy graduate who swims, bikes, and runs for a living. I'm hoping where I can be enlightening and fulfilling is to share with you the lens that I look through in effort to achieve goals and dream a little bit in color. I often hear people say how lucky I am to be a professional athlete and living my dream. And of course I understand where they are coming from and how we all throw that word luck around when good things happen to someone. But in reality, following your dream usually doesn't happen because of luck. This would mean no work or planning was involved. And if there's one thing I am most certain of, my life has had a plan. With peaks and valleys, yes, but there was always a plan. Being a professional triathlete was sort of a dream floating around my mind through my subconscious as I ran around the track before school. It developed through countless swim practice, field hiking 2-a-days, and thousands of miles on that track outside with Bob Kirk. It continued with my field hockey practices in college, hiding my extra running from my coach because she thought I was doing too much. Swimming every day because it was my time to just deal with life. Some call this obsessive, a word that can often have a very negative connotation. But to me, obsessive was a word the lazy used to describe the dedicated. Again, obsessive was a word the lazy used to describe the dedicated. I never questioned what I was doing. I knew it had a purpose down the road, even if it took time to escalate. My parents, however, were mystified when I told them I was leaving my very comfy, secure, get a paycheck every 2 weeks, traditional job. I should rephrase that. I think my mom was more horrified than mystified. While I consider her to be a very positive, conservative voice of reason, I told her, "You always told me to do my best, so that's precisely what I'm going to go do, my best." She later did tell me this made her realize I could make it work and had a true passion. Thanks, Mom. So, my advice to you right now is find your passion, have a plan, do your best. During my tenure in the real world, focused sayings have helped me create this platform to reach along my journey. I'd like to share 4 with you today. The first is getting comfortable being uncomfortable. I apply this to all facets of my life, business, training, racing. You all will be faced with choices in your life, and it'll be up to you to figure out how uncomfortable do you want to get in that moment so that it'll allow you to move forward. I know for me, in training sessions, there are sessions where I feel like I'm going to blow my biscuits. I'm on the brink, wounded animal-like, barely able to hold on. The effort is extreme, but tolerable. This is getting comfortable, being uncomfortable at its finest. And it's in these raw, tender, gentle moments of discomfort where the magic actually happens. I never question the magic. It's where we find the most success. I know embracing this uncomfortable feeling will help me be a better athlete tomorrow, and especially in racing. So life is jam-packed with these subtle moments, and you have to decide whether to stay in your comfort zone or push through adversity to keep improving. I'm always very uncomfortable at mile 20 of an Ironman, especially, but when I allow my mind to get comfortable with that discomfort, it's easier to mentally power through. So you guys too will face this getting comfortable being uncomfortable. It's whether you decide to go out and party or study for that exam, or it may be the case that you're uncomfortable leaving home, what you're familiar with. You may even get a little homesick. I stopped like a little schoolgirl when I left the college. You now have to manage your own time, schedule, transportation. No one is there to tell you where to go and what to do. You are on your own. And P.S., your parents may be wondering what they're going to make your room. Talk about uncomfortable. Getting uncomfortable, being uncomfortable comes with the territory, especially when you embark on something new or when there's change. So when you reach mile 20, power through it. The second saying I live by is keep calm, carry on. Some of you are fortunate to know where you're heading, your life plan, but I bet a vast majority of you don't quite know just yet. And you're hoping you might find some clues in college. With discomfort in life comes adversity, and with adversity comes chaos. You need to remember to take a step back, refocus, stay calm, when these inevitable situations arise. In my first 2 Ironmans as a full-time pro, I DNF'd, did not finish. I was devastated that I failed at my first 2 money-making opportunities as a pro. I had that dreadful DNF by my name. I find that you learn the most about a person though when they're down, and the key for this situation was to be not about how I was knocked down, but how I could get back up, dust myself off, fix the problems, have faith in the plan and hard work, and get after it again. I relate this to you because perhaps that test you studied for didn't go so well. You'll learn from it. That roommate you might not have anything in common with, you'll learn from that too. It's okay. Trust me, the person you think is unlike you might have something to offer. That career path you are in, it's not fitting you well, no problem. Keep calm, carry on. Always dust yourself off and try again, because life never goes according to plan. Life is overwhelming at times, so if you remember to keep calm, carry on, good things can happen. For me, it was a blessing in disguise to have a DNF, because I learned from my mistakes how to fix them and how to rise above. The third saying I cherish is never let success get to your head or failures get to your heart. Through my racing history, I have followed this quote countless times, because no matter how successful you are, you will have to saunter through the stumbling blocks of life. While I've been fortunate and blessed to have success in the sport, which I'm so grateful for, I've also failed at it many times, and I'll fail again in the future. One thing I've learned though in the past is to not be afraid of that. I am afraid of a lot of things, let me tell you, but I am not afraid of failing, because I know the end result brings out something positive and authentic. If you face enormous setbacks, learn from those mistakes and get on with your life. This is true of business, racing, a bad relationship, or a bad grade in college. On the flip side, when something successful happens in your life, take time to really nourish it and enjoy it. Never underestimate the power of happiness and balance. Celebrate it. There's equally as much to be learned from your successes while being humble and appreciative. Now here's what I suggest you think about. What do you enjoy? What makes you happy? What do you love to do? Then put that business hat on and think about, how can I take this information, knowing what I love, and earn a living from it? This parlays into my final mantra, which one of my title sponsors headlines. It's the art of finding your strong. I love to train. I could swim, bike, run all day long if you wanted me to. Always have, always will. The question for me was, how can I derive an income from this activity that involves such a large portion of my day? This idea circulated through my mind when I worked those traditional day jobs until it led me to realize I could earn a living as a professional triathlete. It was a dream. It just took years to escalate. And the end result was a 180-degree turn in my way of thinking on how to attain that goal. Something I all know we have in common today is that Columbus Academy builds this foundation for us being able to choose our own path and think creatively to make it happen, and thus find your strong. Today I am co-owner of Meredith Kessler Inc. and help run my own marketing, sales, social media, and human resource team. My husband, Aaron, also Academy graduate, was a history major at Harvard, moved on to finance, ran a financial firm, and now he's CEO of our company and author of triathlon manuals and our website, Life of a Triathlete. We're a team, and teamwork makes the dream work. I pinch myself every day that we have created this work-life balance where we get to share the day together and our business and our livelihood. That is our strong. Search within yourself to find yours. It probably won't come to you right away, but you should always be searching. I chose the path of being a pro triathlete. You might be a lawyer, doctor, social worker, architect, whatever it is, running your own business. Seniors, let me say, you do not need to know exactly where your life is going to go. Embrace the uncertainty, have fun along the way, learn from the past, don't dwell on it. Live in the present, keep that eye to the future. And remember, do not forget what is important to you in life, which is family and friends. People will come and go, and that is the nature of life experiences. Yet one of those individuals, or many, will hold such a place in your development as a person. And in this development, remember to steer clear of what I like to call the bubble syndrome. And as a pro athlete in a very individualistic sport, it's alarming to see fellow triathletes and some society in general becoming introverted and concerned with their own well-being above others. They often put this bubble around themselves that's nearly impossible to pop. Some of my most rewarding experiences in my life revolve around helping others, not for notoriety, but because it's the right thing to do. I know this age of social media organically limits our ability to interact with others. I fall victim to this myself. So I encourage you to take time to really communicate on a personal level. Instead of sending that text to your family, sit around the table, talk about politics or just old times or anything to keep you learning about this important person or people in your life. It takes hard work to maintain friendships, much more than that post on Facebook. So take a close look at those classmates now and make it a priority to continue these special relationships you have developed through the years. Some of my best friends are here today. Those same pals that I scarfed down those Oreos with back in the day. Friends from kindergarten and their families and beyond. We are still friends because we took time out of our day to keep the lines of communication open. Because that is what friends do. So pop that bubble that surrounds your existence. Reach out to others, not because you have to, but because it will truly expand your world. There is nothing more thrilling to hear at the end of one of my races. You are an Ironman. More so, congratulations, you are an Ironman. So as you set sail and embark on your life and establish your goals of competing in your own Ironman, in doing so, think about getting a little comfortable being uncomfortable. Learn from a DNF. Never let success get to your head or failures get to your heart. Do your best, and most importantly, find your strong. Because one day, no matter what path you follow, you too will have that thrill of hearing, congratulations, you are an Ironman. Thank you.